Tonight, breaking news. Has that recording now been heard? The claims mounting, and this question: did Secretary of State Mike Pompeo listen to the recording? Turkish authorities say that U.S. resident, the Washington Post writer, was dismembered. Now, at least one Turkish official says the Secretary of State is aware. Pompeo behind closed doors with President Trump today, and what was said after. Also tonight, the blow-up inside the White House about something else. This evening, the expletive-laced shouting match outside the Oval Office. The raging waters tonight and more rain coming. The dams already open, creating a new wave of concern at this hour. The former president of USA Gymnastics arrested. U.S. Marshals overnight taking him into custody at a cabin in Tennessee. What they accuse him of: the missing 13-year-old, her dead parents, and the phone call from inside the house. What authorities are now saying. The dramatic rescue at the mine, the man who fell landing 100 feet down a shaft, reportedly surrounded by rattlesnakes. The 911 calls just out. The 2-year-old boy discovered on a doorstep, a woman running. The father who just hours later said, "That's my son." The far-reaching Astros fan, did he really cost his team the game? What he's saying tonight, you make the call. And what would you do with $1 billion? Now's your chance.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us tonight. And we begin with that question: what does Secretary of State Mike Pompeo now know about any recording, and has he heard any of it in the disappearance and apparent killing of Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi? Tonight, what one Turkish official is now telling our team. Khashoggi was last seen in that surveillance, now seen by the world, entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, never coming out. You can see blue lights being used to search inside the consulate and the residence for any signs of blood or other evidence. And take a look at this image. The Saudi crown prince right there on the left, and on the far right, a man who is often not far from the crown prince. That man now seen in several surveillance stills from those 24 hours when Khashoggi disappeared, entering the consulate outside the consul general's home, and then at security right there at the airport before his flight left. On the ground, only a matter of hours. And tonight, this question: what does Secretary Pompeo know about this alleged recording, and has he heard any of it? ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leading us off from Istanbul.
Tonight, explosive new developments about the alleged murder of Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi. ABC News has been told Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was played an audio recording of the writer's murder during meetings in Ankara 24 hours ago, according to a senior Turkish source. Speaking anonymously and exclusively to ABC News, the official said Secretary Pompeo was also given a transcript of the recording. Separately, ABC News has been told of allegations that Khashoggi was killed in the consulate following a struggle that lasted 8 minutes, and that he died of strangulation. ABC News reached out to the White House for comment, which referred questions to the State Department. The State Department spokesperson tells ABC News, quote, "The Secretary addressed this yesterday. He has not heard a tape." Late today, the President asked, "Do you believe Jamal Khashoggi is dead?"
It certainly looks that way to me. It's very sad. It certainly looks that way.
The President also asked, "Are you considering possible consequences for the Saudis?"
Well, it'll have to be very severe. I mean, it's bad stuff. But we'll see what happens.
His comments come after Pompeo briefed the president for nearly an hour this morning about his visits to Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Afterwards, Pompeo saying the Saudis promised him a complete and thorough investigation.
I told President Trump this morning that we ought to give them a few more days to complete that. They're an important strategic alliance of the United States, and we need to be mindful of that as well.
Overnight, investigators carrying boxes out of the Saudi consulate, as mounting evidence appears to tie a member of the Saudi royal family's entourage to the incident. Maher Abdulaziz Mutreb is frequently seen traveling with the Crown Prince, the two men just a few feet from each other in Houston earlier this year. Now a pro-government Turkish newspaper publishing new images of Mutreb in Istanbul the day the writer went missing. Mutreb is seen apparently entering the Saudi consulate at 9:55 a.m. October 2nd, a little more than 3 hours before Khashoggi goes inside. At 4:53 p.m, Mutreb is seen outside the Consul General's home, that residence becoming a key focus of investigators in the last 24 hours. Turkish police searching for blood with ultraviolet lights. And just over an hour later, Mutreb is seen clearing security at the airport, apparently leaving Turkey. ABC News has obtained flight records showing a private plane registered to a Riyadh-based company left the airport some 50 minutes later. One of two private Saudi planes that made one-day stops in Istanbul that day.
And so let's get right to Ian Pannell again tonight from Istanbul. We heard the Secretary of State there today say that the U.S. should give the Saudis a few more days on this. And there had been questions, Ian, for days now, whether the Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, would still attend a major Saudi investment conference that others had pulled out of.
Yeah, that's right. But after a lot of delay and a lot of pressure, he has now announced that he will not now be attending this conference nicknamed Davos in the Desert. He joins a long list of senior CEOs and major corporations who've also pulled out, leaving Saudi plans to reinvent itself as a tech hub in tatters. David?
Ian Pannell leading us off again tonight. Ian, thank you. We are also following that headline tonight out of the White House, a blow-up inside the West Wing. Tonight, the expletive-laced shouting match outside the Oval Office, and it comes after President Trump tweeted a threat to send the U.S. military to the border with Mexico as a caravan of migrants now approaches. Some 3,000 Hondurans are making their way through Central America, headed to the U.S. border. The president threatening to cut off aid to those countries if the migrants aren't stopped. And we learned of that explosive exchange about all of this right outside the Oval Office. So let's get right to Mary Bruce. She's live at the White House tonight. Mary, what have you learned?
Well, David, the issue of immigration is reaching a boiling point here at the West Wing today, sparking that explosive shouting match between two of the president's top aides, his national security advisor, John Bolton, and his chief of staff, John Kelly. The two men actually cursing at each other outside of the Oval Office. But tonight, the White House press secretary says, while we are passionate about solving the issue of illegal immigration, we are not angry at one another. David, it comes as the president, though, is ramping up his rhetoric on this issue. You mentioned that threat of military action along the border. The president has made clear he thinks this issue excites his base and is good politics. The president tweeting, great midterm issue for Republicans.
Mary Bruce, live at the White House. Thank you, Mary. We're watching a precarious situation play out in Texas tonight where they do not need any more rain, but it is coming. The flash floods have already been deadly. And look at this tonight, the stunning views of the power of the Colorado River at major flood stage tonight, now surging through floodgates to take the pressure off, but setting up a second emergency downstream with days of rain now coming. ABC's Victor Oquendo from Texas tonight.
Tonight, the floodgates are open on multiple dams across central Texas. More than a foot of rain in the last 72 hours has turned rivers into raging rapids. Families rescued by boat, high water vehicles bringing others to higher ground. At the Buchanan Dam, 8 floodgates are open. In Austin, officials hoping they don't have to open more floodgates on the Mansfield Dam. If they do, communities downstream will flood. It's holding back Lake Travis, which is 130% full, approaching record levels. Bill Lockett lives downstream.
I have some concern that this is going to get more serious than we've ever seen it.
Much of that water coming from the Llano River, already destroying this bridge.
There it is right there.
It's fast-moving waters carrying pieces of it downstream.
Unbelievable.
Across the flood zone, at least 2 bodies have been found in the floodwaters. In the town of Kingsland, the water receding, the cleanup beginning.
And Victor Oquendo with us live tonight from the Mansfield Dam right there at Lake Travis in Austin. And Victor, I know that whole region is now bracing for more rain.
That's right, David. The water levels haven't been this high at Lake Travis in decades. There is more heavy rain on the way. Every drop is bad news for people here and in flood-prone areas. A flash flood watch remains in effect through tomorrow morning. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo in Austin. Thank you, Victor. A major new arrest in the USA Gymnastics scandal tonight. The organization's former president was arrested at a cabin in Tennessee overnight, more than a year after he resigned. Tonight, months after he pleaded the Fifth in front of Congress and the country, what he's now accused of doing. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
Tonight, the former head of USA Gymnastics is behind bars. Steve Penny, arrested overnight by U.S. Marshals at a Tennessee cabin. He's accused of tampering with evidence in the investigation of disgraced Olympic doctor Larry Nassar.
I've been instructed by my attorney to assert my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Penny refused to answer questions before Congress and resigned in the wake of the scandal, saying it was heartbreaking to learn about the abuse. But prosecutors say Penny impaired the investigation by ordering the removal of documents from the Karolyi training camp where multiple gymnasts say Nassar assaulted them. Coaches Bella and Marta Caroli say they knew nothing of the abuse. Former Olympic gymnast Tasha Schweikert is now speaking out for the first time, saying she too was abused by Nassar at the ranch and that Penny pressed her to publicly support USA Gymnastics at the height of the scandal.
Steve, had always manipulated all of us really, but I felt indebted to him. Him and USA Gymnastics made me feel like if it wasn't for them, like I wouldn't be the person or the athlete like who I was.
When more than 150 accusers spoke at Nassar's sentencing, gymnast Lindsay Lemke took direct aim at Penny.
Steve Penny, you are a coward. Resigning from your position to give responsibility to someone else for creating the environment to let this monster thrive.
So let's get to Lindsay Davis now. What is Steve Penny saying, if anything at all, tonight?
David, he's saying that when the facts are known, it will be shown that he did nothing criminal. And USA Gymnastics says it is fully cooperating with investigators. However, the allegations certainly raise questions about just how cooperative they've been. If convicted, Penny faces up to 10 years behind bars.
All right, Lindsay Davis tonight. Lindsay, thank you. We have also learned tonight that federal authorities are now investigating the sexual abuse of minors by Catholic clergy in Pennsylvania. The Department of Justice has subpoenaed at least 7 of the 8 Catholic dioceses in that state. It comes after that searing grand jury report that found credible evidence that 301, quote, predator priests abused more than 1,000 children since 1947. Next tonight to that case in Wisconsin, the 13-year-old girl missing, her parents both found dead, and tonight word that the phone that was used to make that 911 call where no one could talk but they could hear noise in the background, that phone has now been recovered. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Let's see what we can find. Tonight, authorities in Wisconsin determined to find 13-year-old Jamie Kloss, enlisting dozens of volunteers. Teams carefully combing through a 14-mile rural area.
Why do you think so many people came out?
We want answers, I guess. It's just trying to help the community. If they need us to look, we're going to look.
Authorities revealing they believe Jamie was home when her parents were shot to death. Police racing to the house after a suspicious 911 call about 1 a.m. Monday. They say the background noise on that call makes them think Jamie was there and is now in danger.
There was no one on site, no vehicles in the immediate area when our deputies arrived on scene.
Authorities have the cell phone that was used to make that 911 call and are examining it, but have not revealed who it belongs to.
Every tip that comes in is important to us. It's a piece of the puzzle that we're trying to build here.
The people in this tight-knit community are not ready to give up hope.
We don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened to her, and it's not right.
David, the number of tips coming into police growing, now at more than 800, but so far investigators here say there have been no credible sightings of the teenager. David?
Alex Perez in Wisconsin again tonight. And overseas this evening, a close call for the U.S. commander in charge of Afghanistan. The Taliban tonight taking responsibility for a deadly attack that killed top provincial leaders in Kandahar. Just after this meeting, the commander had attended it. A gunman in an Afghan army uniform wounded Kandahar's governor on the left and killed 2 top security chiefs. But General Scott Miller on the right there, he was already on the way to his helicopter. He was not harmed. Back here at home tonight, and to the upsetting video being seen across the country this evening, a woman appearing to abandon a toddler at a stranger's front door in Texas, ringing the doorbell and then running. A local ABC reporter then finding the boy's father and playing him the video. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
The 2-year-old seen here in home surveillance video being roughly rushed to a stranger's door by a woman with an odd smile on her face is safe tonight and will soon be reunited with his family. This was after 8 p.m. last night. At first, Houston area police thought that the unidentified woman with the long hair was a mother abandoning her child. But this morning, a reporter at our local station in the city helped crack the case.
That's my son.
Discovering that the boy's father lived at the house next door.
Who's watching him normally?
He was with his mother.
Police say the mother, who had custody of the child, was supposed to bring 2-year-old Royal Prince Simmons to his biological father's house Wednesday afternoon, but mom ended up in the hospital. The woman in the video is the mother's friend, dropping the child off in the dark, hours late, at the wrong home, and then speeding away.
Had she waited just 7 more seconds, the homeowner would have opened the door and maybe would have started a conversation, a dialogue to direct her to the correct house to drop the child off.
Police tonight say they're